Welcome back to Behind the Caution Tape. I'm your host, CrashLit. There's been a lot of stuff going on with USC athletics, so let's get into all of it right here, right now. So the biggest news of this past week was on Friday with the House settlement being approved. The House versus NCAA lawsuit was approved on Friday about just after 6 p.m. So it's just basically allows for revenue sharing. So based on what I've been reading, and this is based on the work of John Wilner of the Bay Area News Group, he's been putting out a lot of great work about it. And so just to summarize kind of the few things that are happening with it. So approximately 2.8 billion in back pay to former athletes from the past 10 years who weren't eligible for NIL due to no compensation whatsoever until 2021. And then starting on July 1st, athletic departments will be able to share $20.5 million annually with athletes, and that amount's expected to increase over time based on as revenue sources rise for athletic departments. And then so rosters will be sizes will reduce, but scholarships can increase. So basically, there's a lot of walk-ons, so you can't have as many walk-ons now, but you can have more scholarships. So for football, I think you could have over, I think about 105 players, but only 85 scholarships. It's something like that. But now I think there's something like you can have more scholarships, but less guys. So hypothetically, you can have more scholarships, I think, as long as it's Title IX compliant. And then 5 named defendants of the lawsuit, the ACC, Big Ten, Big 12, SEC, and Pac-12, are creating an independent entity to track just revenue sharing and just try to enforce NIL so that way to minimize pay for play. And it's called the College Sports Commission. So, but I think the issue there is I think anything over 600 has to be reported, but it seems like there could be loopholes there and just more lawsuits will probably follow. But just wanted to briefly discuss this considering it was the big news in college athletics this week. So I think this is definitely something I think will be exciting for USC, and I think we'll definitely see how it plays out as in the coming months, especially as I think until July 1st, schools can still utilize NIL and as they have been to try and entice athletes before revenue sharing officially starts on July 1st, which is the start of the next fiscal school year for college sports. So, and then the other news, at least for USC, and I think was made a few days ago, was USC has announced a new partnership with new 15-year partnership with Learfield to help with revenue generation, NIL, and fan engagement for both USC for just athletics and the Coliseum. So I think definitely another thing that'll be exciting, and it seems like something that's going to be beneficial based on the statement Jen Cohen made, which I'll read out now, and I quote, "We are thrilled to announce this transformational partnership with Learfield and to leverage their innovation and expertise in our work to win the new era of college athletics. Learfield's combination of cutting-edge solutions, forward-thinking revenue generation strategies, and collaborative leadership will be invaluable in our work to better engage new and existing fans, promote and expand the iconic USC brand, and to generate the resources needed to maximize our investment in student athletes. From increased storytelling and NIL opportunities for student athletes to providing world-class experience for our fans in every engagement, this partnership will elevate our institution and help ensure USC remains the place to be for student athletes to reach their fullest potential in all they do for years to come." So based on what she's saying, it seems like there's just a lot to look forward there. So I'm definitely excited for that, see how that plays out. And then with football, the news this week was the arrival of the Trojan, which was the film that you saw before every home game before the team took the field, has been nominated for a Angeles area Emmy. So super, it was it was the season trailer and intro video, so it was really cool to just see that, especially because of how great that came out. I mean, anyone who went to a football game, especially those night games when they're able to turn off all the lights and everything, it was just so cool to see that video play right before the team takes the field. So excited to see what the video is next year, but definitely really, really happy for everyone who's involved in that to see them really get the credit they deserve for that because that was one heck of a film, one heck of a hype up video before games. On to some other news. So the USC soccer team has announced their schedule for the 2025 season. And what I'm excited there about is they are back they will be back on campus playing at the brand new Rawlinson Stadium. So they'll have two exhibition games at Long Beach State, and then they'll host San Diego State in Rawlinson Stadium. And then August 17th will be the grand opening against Cal Baptist at 1 p.m. So what I think is cool about these games are just it's gonna be great to just see that place. I definitely, if I can, I want to make it to one or two games if I can. Just like it's all just gonna depend on what goes on with work for me now that I've graduated and everything, and as I figure out my next steps. It looks like really the non-conference schedule is the same teams USC played last year, just flipped because they were on the road all last year for non-conference. This year, everyone's coming to them. So I think it's definitely great for USC fans to have more exposure to this team, especially considering only one game was really played truly basically on campus when they hosted Ohio State at BMO Stadium. All the others required fans, at least fans living near USC, to get in their cars to drive. So I think definitely some exciting opportunities to see this team play. So I'm really excited. But then also definitely some big matchups. I mean, USC will go to Michigan and Michigan State. They'll have Maryland and Rutgers, and then they're going to play some new opponents this year. And obviously, they won't get to everyone, but definitely ending the season at UCLA in Westwood will definitely be a thriller for sure. So definitely excited to see this team back. And it seems like they're just really looking to keep building off that success of their Elite Eight run. Especially that's what I kind of heard. Especially that's kind of what I was hearing based on when I interviewed both Simone Jackson and Maria Alagoa, who have both since graduated, but were big parts of why that team was so successful last year. And then on to women's golf. So congrats to Jasmine Koo for making the Golfweek All-America first team and Catherine Park for making the second team, which Golfweek announced on June 4th. So congrats to both of them, but just wanted to highlight that, especially now that everything is, starting to come to a close. Just wanted to, highlight some of those achievements as they're coming out, especially as everything's winding down. And speaking of, there's not much left going on. Really, track and field is the last team still going right now for USC. They have and this weekend is their starting Wednesday, actually, Wednesday through Saturday. So June 11th through 14th, they'll head to Tracktown USA in Eugene, Oregon to take part in the NCAA track and field outdoor track and field championship. So in total, the men's team got 17 berths in, and the women got 12. I highlighted all the athletes who got in last week, so be sure to check out last week's episode to see who got in there. So it's the final USC sporting event of the 2024-2025 school year. And USC having potential to maybe bring home another national title or two. Men's team got the indoor title back in March. Can they get another title this year? And can the women secure their first title and bring home national titles 138 and 139? We'll find out this week, and I'll definitely make sure to recap that next week. And then finally, our final sport today will be baseball. Considering last week I recorded literally right before going downstairs to watch that final game of the Corvallis Regional, that Game 7, the winner go home for USC, which unfortunately did not go the Trojans' way. They dropped that game 9-0 to the Beavers, and USC just struggled to get any momentum offensively. And then despite changing the lineup around after getting pretty beat up badly the day before to the Beavers, USC just struggled, and Oregon State just scored in four of the first 5 innings and got up to 6-0 and just never looked back, and then had a 3-run 8th inning. So that brings the USC season to a tough end, but definitely. And I mean, even though Oregon State did drop their first game of the regional to St. Mary's, after that they just went on a tear. And I mean, now look at them; they're back in the College World Series, so they could win it all this year. So while that was definitely a tough loss for USC, they still lost to a really good team. I mean, the number 8 team in the country. And if you just look at just how Oregon State is just grit this year, you got to hand it to them considering everything that happened with the Pac-12 and the Beavers playing as an independent. So, but definitely still, I think the best season so far for USC under Andy Stankiewicz. They finished the year 37 and 23, got fourth in the Big Ten, and then just had an all around just really great year. I think they put up a graphic that I'm gonna pull up right now and just highlight everything that just went right for this team because they got the most wins since 2015 when they last made the NCAA tournament. First appearance since 2015. They won 10 out of 13 three-game series with 8 straight series wins, which is the longest since 1978. And then under Andy Stankiewicz, even though there have been some struggles, USC has hit the 30-win mark every year. They went 34, 23, and 1 in his first year, 31 and 28, and then last year and then this year they went 37 and 23. So that you've just seen them just really take that next step this year with 3 straight 30-win seasons, which has been the first since 2000 to 2002. And then they got 52 conference wins in 3 years, which is and then 3 straight top 4 conference finishes, which is also the first since 2000 to 2002. So Andy Stankiewicz really, I think, has got this program on the right step. I think you're going to see this team continue to get better, and I'm really excited for next year. And then obviously, before we get to it, Ethan Hedges last week was also named one of the 5 finalists to the John Olerud Two-Way Player of the Year award last week, which I think is super exciting. Hedges absolutely deserves. I mean, because not only was he hitting great most, especially in the first half of the year, but also he was able to come in and just throw an inning throw an inning on the mound and just take care of business. That was really impressive, especially considering he hasn't pitched since he was in high school, and then he just comes back out. Because I think, yeah, so it's really cool just to see him come out and do that. I mean, I think I saw him throw an inning when they went to Pepperdine in the fall. When I went and checked that out, I think I saw him and I was like, "Oh, is he gonna play?" And it seemed like, yeah, he was going to. And then he comes out, just takes care of business when he's on the mound. So just super excited for him, especially with the draft coming up. So really looking forward to the next step this team takes, and really excited for next year, especially because they will be back in Dedeaux Field as well. So that's definitely going to be exciting for USC, expecting it to now, be playing back at home. I mean, it was nice for them to practice, but even just have games now back on campus is going to be great. And I think it was definitely just overall, I think it was still a great season. Definitely tough how it ended with the 2 losses to Oregon State, but still really proud of this team and the step they took to get back to the NCAA tournament. And I'm excited to see them build off that momentum and keep getting better in the years to come. So so because USC didn't advance, I did not obviously didn't get to, go to Tallahassee to see USC play Florida State. So didn't go to any games, and because I'm not going to go up because of everything, that was what's kind of crazy is had my last game about almost a month ago, which is kind of crazy. Think I'd get one more baseball game in, but then it just didn't work out. But so yeah, so I'm gonna finish my senior year 99 and 37 as a senior with a 311 and 119 overall record in my 4 years of going to USC games. So definitely we'll keep that going into next year for sure. But yeah, so I'm not gonna be so yeah, that's it for me for the year. So that's kind of crazy that that's it. But definitely looking forward to the next year. And that's going to do it for us here pretty much on Behind the Caution Tape for this week. There's going to be one more rundown episode for season 1 next week to conclude track and field. And then after that, I will, and then I'm going to look to keep doing, I guess, more, one-on-one interviews throughout the summer based on who I can get on here. I'm definitely trying to line up some cool guests for y'all because it's definitely fun having those guests on. If you didn't see my last interview, from Friday, check out my interview with Bryce Pope. That was really fun talking with him about his unique journey at both UC San Diego and USC. And then, so yeah, I definitely got some guests I want to get on, like I was saying. And I will be back for season 2 at some point. It'll start definitely after July 1st when the new fiscal school year for college athletics officially begins. That's when season 2 will start. And but when the first Monday rundown will be is still to be determined. But I'll definitely look to keep doing interviews, whether they're both for the remainder of this month as well as into July. So I will keep y'all posted Be sure to follow me at CrashLit for the latest updates and announcements. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Be sure to give me a follow, leave a rating and review. And thank you again all for the support. It's been a lot of fun doing this. I'll see y'all next week for the final Monday rundown of season 1. Fight on.